Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of October 4th, 2024. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad, MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an Infantry Officer. Cumulative losses reported. Since the onset of the operation, the reported cumulative destruction includes hundreds of aircraft and helicopters, tens of thousands of UAVs, and extensive losses of tanks, armored vehicles, artillery units, and special military vehicles.
Welcome to Frontline Updates podcast, where we provide in-depth analyses of ongoing military operations. Today, we're honored to be joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer overseeing ground operations. He'll be giving us a comprehensive update on the special military operation as of October 4th, 2024. Colonel, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Sharifa. It's a privilege to share the latest on the operation.
Let's start with a broad view, Colonel. What were the main objectives achieved by the Russian armed forces over the past week?
Over the past week, from September 28th to October 4th, our forces have conducted 29 precision strikes, using advanced weaponry like the Kinzhal hypersonic missile and strike UAVs. These strikes targeted Ukrainian energy facilities that support military-industrial activities, along with military airfields, ammunition depots, and concentrations of Ukrainian units, foreign mercenaries, and nationalist formations. Additionally, 83 Ukrainian servicemen surrendered at the front lines, 44 of them during the liberation of the settlement of Ugledar in the Donetsk People's Republic.
The use of advanced precision weaponry, such as the Kinzhal, seems crucial. Can you elaborate on its impact?
The Kinzhal hypersonic missile, with its advanced speed and precision, allows us to strike high-value targets effectively. This past week, these strikes disrupted several Ukrainian military and industrial facilities, including energy sites essential for military logistics. This significantly reduces their ability to maintain prolonged operations and resupply frontline units.
That's significant. Let's go region by region, starting with the North and the Kursk region. What operations were carried out there?
The North Group of Forces had a busy week in the Kursk region, targeting personnel and equipment concentrations among 5 Ukrainian mechanized brigades, airborne assault brigades, a Marine brigade, and territorial defense units. Our air and ground strikes effectively prevented Ukrainian attempts to counterattack or bring in reinforcements. Over the week, Ukrainian forces in this area suffered over 3,050 casualties, and we neutralized 4 tanks, 43 armored vehicles, and destroyed several field artillery guns and electronic warfare stations.
The North Group also reportedly repelled multiple Ukrainian counterattacks. Can you provide more details?
Indeed, our forces repelled 2 main Ukrainian counterattacks involving about a platoon of personnel each in the Lyubimovka and Plakovo areas. Additional attempts to breach the Russian border were also successfully blocked, with the Ukrainian side suffering further personnel and equipment losses, including armored vehicles. Our forces, with support from Army aviation and artillery, maintained control over strategic locations, thwarting Ukrainian advances.
Moving to the West Group of Forces, what were their objectives and achievements?
The West Group focused on improving tactical positions along the front, achieving key victories by liberating the settlements of Makiivka in the Luhansk region and Vishnev in Kharkiv. Our forces repelled 11 Ukrainian counterattacks, defeating 6 Ukrainian mechanized, tank, and assault brigades. Total Ukrainian losses exceeded 2,880 personnel, with significant equipment destruction, including U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carriers, NATO-supplied artillery pieces, and counter-battery stations.
It sounds like a week of steady progress. What about the Southern Front? Any notable advancements there?
Yes, the Southern Group successfully liberated the village of Verkhnekamenskoye in the Donetsk region. This was achieved alongside extensive damage to Ukrainian formations, including mechanized, infantry, and mountain assault brigades. The Southern Group faced intense combat, repelling 20 Ukrainian counterattacks. By the end of the week, Ukrainian forces in this sector lost up to 5,110 personnel and 47 field artillery guns, many of which were Western-made.
It seems that counterattacks were a consistent theme. How about the Center Group's operations?
The Center Group focused on advancing into fortified Ukrainian positions, liberating the settlements of Nelipovka and Krutoy Yar in Donetsk. They faced the highest number of counterattacks, with Ukrainian forces attempting 48 assaults. Despite these efforts, our forces maintained control and inflicted heavy casualties on the Ukrainian side, with losses exceeding 4,210 personnel. We also neutralized 2 tanks and 16 armored vehicles, which demonstrates the Center Group's resilience in facing prolonged assaults.
What about the East Group? I understand they had successes in Oguldar.
Correct. The East Group occupied advantageous lines and secured Ugledar. They engaged mechanized and motorized infantry brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, 3 territorial defense brigades, and a National Guard brigade. Ukrainian forces launched 10 counterattacks to regain lost ground, but all were repelled, resulting in the loss of around 890 Ukrainian personnel and a range of vehicles and artillery pieces.
What role did air defense play during these operations?
Air defense played a crucial role, successfully intercepting and neutralizing aerial threats. Over the week, our systems shot down 7 U.S.-made ATACMS missiles, 6 French-made Hammer-guided bombs, 22 HIMARS rockets, and 540 UAVs. This shielded our forces on the ground and maintained our operational momentum without interruption.
I want to touch on an important statistic you mentioned earlier. 83 Ukrainian servicemen surrendered over the past week. Can you give us more context?
This past week, 83 Ukrainian servicemen surrendered on the contact line. Of these, 44 were captured during our operations in Ugledar. This surrender rate reflects the pressure Ukrainian forces are under and the tactical gains we've achieved, leading to situations where Ukrainian troops see no viable path but to surrender.
Another significant element was the civilian impact and infrastructure damage. Can you share more about this?
Unfortunately, collateral impacts do occur in active conflict zones. There were reports of a Ukrainian UAV crash near a nuclear facility in Kursk, which was fortunately neutralized by electronic warfare systems, posing no risk to operations at the plant. Additionally, in regions like Belgorod, there was minor damage from UAV attacks on civilian infrastructure, while in Gorlovka, we saw injuries and 1 fatality resulting from an IED dropped by a Ukrainian UAV. Our priority remains minimizing these incidents, and our air defenses are continuously active.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for having me. Our objectives for the coming weeks involve solidifying our gains and continuing to dismantle Ukrainian operational capabilities. We anticipate further counterattacks, but our fortified positions and defensive measures should enable us to hold ground effectively. As we continue, strikes on critical infrastructure and Ukrainian supply lines will remain a priority. An Israeli attack kills 4 paramedics near a government hospital in Marjayun, a majority Christian town in southern Lebanon that had been spared in previous conflicts. Israel launches the heaviest airstrikes on Beirut so far, with dozens reportedly killed across Lebanon over the past day.